Day of the fourth set, 21st Congress will now come to order. May we all bow our heads for a moment of silent prayer. Okay, Chief Clerk, roll call.
Senator Aritos, Senator Gerstein, Senator Figueroa,
Yes.
Senator Coolant, Floor Leader Harper,
Amen.
Senator Conway, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Palik,
Yes.
Senator Perman, Senator Romulo, Senator Ismail,
Hey.
Senator Wally, Speaker Simina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 13 members are present.
We have a quorum to transact business today. Our next item, reading of the journal for Leader Harper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to dispense with the reading of the journal.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that Congress dispense with the reading of the journal. Those in favor say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. We now dispense with the reading of the journal. Just a reminder to members, if you have any comments or corrections on the journals, your own statements, please turn them in to the clerk later. Okay,
Short recess, please.
short recess up to the call of the chair.
Item 9, agency or governmental authority communications, none. Item 10, state communications, none. Item 11, state Supreme Court communications, none. Item 12, municipal or town communications. Item 9, agency or governmental authority communications, none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, we're now on our order of the day. Item 14, standing committee reports, Chief Clerk.
There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Item 15, special committee reports, Chief Clerk.
None also, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, next item.
Item 16, assignment of measures and communications. We have a referral sheet number 21-80 attached to the order of business.
All right, Chairman and members, review that for your planning purposes. Next item.
Item 17, unfinished business. None, Mrs. Speaker.
You have calendar first.
Mrs. Speaker, the first bill on the bill calendar is CP number 21-225 CD3 for first reading. CP number 21-225 CD3. This is a bill for an act to amend sections 1, 2, 3, 8, and 9 of Public Law number 21-42 as amended by Public Laws numbers 21-55, 21-77, 21-94, and 21-116 to the appropriate $430,000 of an unallotted funds from the general fund of the Federated States of Micronesia for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2020, in order to provide supplemental funding for the operations of the national government of the Federated States of Micronesia, to provide supplemental funding for staff housing and for other purposes.
Right, Chairman Figueroa. Chairman Figueroa.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that Congress pass
Funding for
Congress
staff
Bill
housing and for other
21-225
purposes.
on first reading.
Right, Chairman Figueroa. Any second?
Second.
It's been moved. Chairman Figueroa.
Thank you, Mr.
Congress
Chairman.
pass on first reading CP
I
number
move that Congress
21-2.
pass
Funding for
Congress
staff
Bill
housing and for other
21-225
purposes.
on
Speaker. Subject to call of the chair.
Yeah, I can add.
first reading.
Right, Chairman Figueroa. Any second?
Second.
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 Okay. So let's go back. Congress is back in session. We're discussing the Bill 21-225 CD. Senator Ned, do you have the floor? Senator Ned?
Thank you, Speaker. I have a floor amendment to offer. I so move for the adoption.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the offered floor amendment by Senator German Net to CP number 21-225 CD3 be adopted. Because of its length, we'll dispense with its reading. So discussion on the offered amendment by Chairman Net. Any discussion? If not, if there's no objection, yes, Vice Speaker. Vice Speaker.
This is on, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning to you. This is on the amendment, yeah? For the
Yes.
20,
Amendment, yes.
oh, okay. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry for the delay.
No problem.
Speaker,
Our leader, Harbor.
thank you, Mr. Speaker. Of course, I have no business to object any amendment from any member, but I don't have the benefit of having Ned's amendment with me. So may I just ask if he can just briefly explain to me what this amendment?
Okay, Chairman Net, can you help out for leader? It doesn't have benefit of your written amendment with him. So please just explain.
Thank you, Speaker. Yeah, the amendment is simply to increase the executive director's salary by 20,000 based on the board's review of his performance and comparing his salary to the other similar positions in the region. Thank you.
There it
Thank
is.
you.
Okay, any other discussion?
Speaker,
There is no further. Oh, yes, floor leader.
uh,
Video.
I don't know whether I would be in order if I would offer an amendment to Ned's amendment to,
Well, you can offer oral amendment. You can do oral amendment if
yeah.
you.
So I would like to ask if the salary would be what, 50, or it would be an increase of 10,000.
Short recess to call the chair. Second session, we're still discussing the offered floor amendment by Senator Net to CP 21-225 CT3. Any further discussion?
Question.
Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of the offered floor amendment by Chairman Net to CP 21-225 CT3, say yes.
Yes.
Can we vote by raising hands, Speaker?
Okay,
On the
let's go
amendment?
by raising hands. Okay, let's go. Those in favor of the offered amendment, raise your right hands. Okay, how many you count, Chief Clerk? You want to redo it? Okay, let's do it again so Chief Clerk can count. Those in favor of the offered amendment by Chairman Net, raise your right.
Seven members raised their hands in support of the amendment.
Okay, those are in opposition, raise your right hand.
It's 7-7. 7-7.
That's four.
4-3 abstain.
Yes.
Okay, Chief Clerk, announce.
8.
Announce the result of the vote.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, 7 members voted for the amendment, 4 against, the 3 abstain. They're counted as yes. So that should be 10, 4, in favor of the amendment and 4 against.
Okay, for that reason, the offered amendments by Chairman Net to C 21-225 CD3 as passed Congress passed Congress. It's adopted. Okay, next, further discussion on the bill. Any further discussion on CT4? We now have CT4. Short recess subject to call of the chair.
Mr. Speaker.
Congress is back in session. We're still discussing CP 21-225 CD4. Floor Leader Harper, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I have a floor reading amendment, which I believe it has already been duplicated and distributed among members. So I move for its adoption.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the offer for amendment to CP number 21-225 offered by Floor Leader Harper be adopted. Because of its length, we will dispense with its reading. Discussion on the
Mr.
offer.
Speaker.
Yes, explain your amendment.
If necessary, Mr. Speaker, I move to suspend any relevant rule that may impede my amendment, especially the rule that prohibit substantive amendment.
We're still on first reading, so you're good.
Or first reading, okay.
Speaker.
I'm sorry. Okay, the purpose of the amendment is simply to ask for 25,000 for this office year, Consulate General in Guam, and 35,000 for the Department of Foreign Affairs.
Okay. Okay, any,
Mr. Speaker,
discussion on the offered for amendment? Senator Christian? Yes, Senator
I
Christian.
guess the Consul General must be treating you folks really well. You're going out for that much money, eh? All right.
Yes. Okay.
Speaker, we're doing this as instructed by the Speaker. Speaker was asking if we can ask our Consul General to give us some kind of a figure as to their expenses while we're here in Guam and their assistance to us. And so that's the amount that we believe it would be enough to reimburse them and use for other things that we may not be able to see at this time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Floor Leader. And of course, we don't know, maybe next session we will continue to do it remotely. So you may still end it up. Just in case. All right, any further discussion? If none,
Question.
discussion is closed. So let's vote those in favor of adoption of the offered for amendment to 21-225 CT4 is offered by Floor Leader Harper, say yes. Opposed, no.
Yes.
Motion carried. The offered amendments are adopted. We now have CT5. Any further discussion on CT5? Let's take Chairman Romulo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning to you and members. I have a floor amendment to this bill and wish to offer and move for adoption of the amendment.
Has been moved and seconded that the offer for amendment to CP 21-225 CT5 offered by Chairman Romulo be adopted because of its length. We will dispense with its reading. Discussion. Okay, Chairman Romulo. Chairman Romulo, explain your amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The amendment has been linked to the site and distributed. In the supplemental bill, the amount requested for official purchase for Sioux State was taken out for some understanding, and I asked that it was reinserted back with the changes of the Aladi. That's basically what the amendment is.
Okay, so there is just reinstating the original 800,000 that was taken out. Okay.
Question,
Speaker.
Mr. Speaker.
Floor Leader Harper.
Speaker.
Yes, Floor Leader Harper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I ask Honorable Romulo to explain to me what is the understanding that we had that it was necessary for us to take the 800,000 out of the budget, and what is the understanding now that we are restating it? And who's now the Aladi?
Okay, Chairman Romulo, how about Floor Leader?
The Aladi on this fund will be the governor of Chuk. And the reason being is that I have in my public project $500,000. The Aladi is the state governor of Chuk. So I want to have the same Aladi. So the processing of paperwork should be smooth with one Aladi instead of two Aladis on the same item.
Okay,
What's the reason of
Mr.
pulling it
Speaker,
out and now restarting it? I just want to ask this question.
Are you,
out of curiosity.
are you
Sure.
supporting?
Chairman Romulo, why was the thing being taken out in the first place, the amount that it's now being put back in?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Initially, our delegation asked that we take it out, and my understanding was just the 500, but I did not realize that there was also requested for the 500 and the 800. So when I realized the 800 was taken out, that's when I asked that the 800 be put back, since the purchase we're working on the purchase of the vessel. So that's why I asked that it was reinstated back.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, thank you, Ferdinand, for the questions. Senator Christian, you have the floor.
Yeah, on the issue of Alati, Senator Romulo, have you consulted with Senator Guland on the new Alati?
Have you consulted with Chairman Kulan, Chairman Romulo? On the Iran?
Yes.
Okay, so the answer is yes, Senator Christian.
All right, very good, very good.
Discussion? If none, there is no objection. Debate is closed, so let's vote. I was in favor of adoption of the offer for amendments by Chairman Romulo to CD5. Say yes. Opposed, no.
Yes.
Carried. So the offer for amendment is adopted. We have CD6. Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, Chairman. Short recess subject to call of the chair.
I will do that, Speaker.
This is back in session. We're still discussing the CT6. Vice Speaker Moses.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning to you and all members and those who are observing. I have a floor amendment to CB number 21-225, and I'm going to offer it on your behalf. The amendment is quite lengthy, so I would like to ask that we dispense with the reading of the said amendment. I believe it's been copied and also linked to our accounts so that everybody may see and read. So I so move for the offered floor amendment.
Any second?
Second.
Has been moved and seconded. The offer for amendments to CP 21-225 CDC offered by Vice Speaker Moses on behalf of Speaker be adopted. So because of its length, we will dispense with its reading. Okay, discussion on the offered amendment.
Question.
Questions been called for. If there is no objection, debate is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of the offered for amendment to CP 21-225 CD6, say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offered for amendments to CP 21-225 CD6 is adopted by Congress. Okay, continue discussion on.
Go
Any
to
further
49.
discussion?
Speaker.
Chairman Permit?
Thank you, Speaker. Good morning, good afternoon to you, honorable members, and all of those that is observing our remote session. Mr. Speaker, I also have a amendment to offer on the said bill. I believe copies been made for every member. I so move for its adoption.
Any second? It has been moved and seconded that the offer for amendment by Chairman Perman to CB 21-225 CD 7 be adopted. Discussion. Any discussion?
Speaker, let me just generalize the,
Yeah, we'll come back. You say that on the record, but did you make, I'm trying to pull it up, but did you make any of the corrections that, not corrections, Congress is back in session. There was that offer for amendment which was moved and seconded for its adoption. Discussion. Chairman Berman?
yes, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. This amendment to the supplement is going to try to accommodate on, if you see line 4, to assistance to the stranded residents in Hawaii and Guam due to the travel restrictions that we placed, and for 200,000, and 100,000 to the students that also been affected by the travel restrictions, and 50,000 will be payable to University of Guam. And on line 6, delete where it says housing, FSM students, but the word housing, and then replace that with room and board. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Any second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the offered oral amendment to the floor amendment be adopted. Discussion, changing housing to room and board. Any discussion on that? If none, if there's no objection.
Question.
Those in favor of adoption of the offered oral amendments to the written floor amendment, say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. We now have the floor amendment as orally amended. Okay, any further discussion on the offered written floor amendments? Chairman Turman,
Question.
questions being called for. If there's no objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of the offered floor amendment to CP 21-225 CD7 as already amended once, say yes. Opposed, no.
Yes.
Carried. Offer for amendments to CP 21-225 CD7 is adopted. We now have CD 8. Any further discussion on CD 8? Short recess to go to the chair. will contain. Okay, Congress is back in session. We're still discussing CB 21-225 CD8. Any further discussion? If none, there is no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Roll call of members. First reading. Clerk.
Senator Aritos,
Yes.
Senator Christian, Senator Figuer, Senator Figuer, Senator Figuer, we're voting first reading.
No.
Senator Coland, Floor Leader Harper,
He walked out.
Senator Conman,
Hey.
Vice Speaker Moses,
Hey.
Senator Ned,
Bye-bye.
Senator Palik,
Yes.
Senator Romulo, Senator Berman, Senator Romulo,
Aye.
Senator Ursmal,
Mr. Urusmal votes is NO.
Senator Wali,
Yes.
Senator Goland,
Yes, indeed.
Floor Leader Harper,
Yes.
Speaker Simino, Mr. Speaker, 12 members for the 4.
For that reason, CP number 21-225 CD8 has passed Congress on first reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, the next bill is CB number 21-229 for second reading. CB number 21-229 or 229. It's a bill for an act to amend Public Law number 21-52 by amending the title and sections 1 and 2 thereof to change the purpose, use, allotee, and lapse date of the funds previously appropriated therein for the purpose of funding the purchase of a vessel for Chuk State and for other purposes.
Okay, Chairman Figuer.
Thank you, Speaker. I move for the passage of the bill.
Second. It's been moved and seconded that Congress pass CP number 21-229 on second and final reading. Discussion.
Speaker.
Floor Leader Harbert.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before I go on to say what I intend to say, I would like to first of all apologize to my own colleague of our Chuk delegation for what I'm going to say if it may not be very appealing to them. But I want to state for the record that I really do not support this bill at this time for a few reasons. First of all, the delegation has changed the intent or purpose and use of the appropriation from what is really needed in the state of Chuk to other things that may not be that needed in Chuk. And I believe this kind of thing is like political interest taking over the real need of the state or the need of the people of Chuk. If we change the use of this appropriation to public project fund, it would mean that delegation of Chuk is receiving more money for public project than the other delegation. So with that, sort of unfairness, I tend to not want to vote for this appropriation at this time, the bill. I would really ask if this Congress could really consider seriously what the delegation is doing. I know if this Congress had known that Chuk would eventually change the use of the appropriation to public project, I believe they wouldn't really vote for this appropriation in the first place. And so therefore I appeal to this Congress, especially those who are going to vote on this bill on second reading, to vote against this bill, and so that we can go back to the original use of the appropriation. If Chuk insists that they don't need to give Chuk or Morlocks this appropriation for a sea vessel, then we might as well give it to Panapay, Iab and Kosrae, who are also asking funding for ship to serve their people. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Floor Leader, for your statement of support for the bill or non-support. Okay, discussion. Yes, Ursula.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Maybe I should move for a short recess. Short recess.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. come back? I thought you said. Congress is back in session. Chairman Romulo, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to make a statement regarding this said bill and the said amount that is in discussion. It was originally indeed appropriated for vessel purchase that I asked to supplement what I have appropriated with in my public projects. However, the delegation asked, since because of these delays and lockdown, to amend this amount, and we will supplement later if we have. I reluctantly give up because the majority of the delegation have asked and agreed. I even asked that they took my share in the amount that we appropriated from our infrastructure. To took my share, but to leave the 500. That's how much I need the money. But again, I am just one of the member, but the majority have agreed. So during our discussion yesterday, I thought that we have come to an agreement of a solution to address this issue. However, on the issue of changing a lot use of this kind of money, I don't think this is the first time Chuk or Congress have done. We have done many times in the past. For having appropriated money for infrastructure change to put in a trust fund. And we can name all the appropriations that we have done in similar ways that the Chuk delegation do with this 500,000. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Romulo. So any further discussion on the bill? Any further discussion? If not,
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
Christian,
Mr. Speaker, I just, that's not fair. It's not fair that in this devious way, a delegation, the largest delegation in our Congress, and the largest should be most considerate, this delegation has decided to grant itself public projects while all the other three states stand looking in from the rain. Joe has always expressed the need to be able to go home with some fish. The Chuk delegation want to go home with the fish. I do too. And I think all members of Congress would like to do that. The need for this 500 to be divided among the Chuk delegation, could that not wait until we are able to find additional revenue in the Treasury so that when you want this 500, it comes out of Treasury? But if you do not need this money for SHIP, it should go back into the Treasury, or it should be given to Kusai or Yap or to Pohnpei for the operation of this small vessel that we now have. I cannot not say anything about this because it may be legal because Congress will act on it. It may be okay with you because you really want it, but it's so totally unfair for the rest of us.
thank you, Senator Christian, for that statement. I just want to say also on the record, so it is very clear. It is true what Chairman Romulo had said. This is not the first time. Pohnpei had done it, Yap had done it. I'm not quite sure about Kusai, but it has been done before. And I can just give an example for Pohnpei. We gave Pohnpei $2 million 4, the Congress gave it to do for generation, emergency. Now, what happens is that they took that money years later and changed it to their own public projects. So let's not talk about what because we know it's been done before. Short recess, subject to call the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still discussing CB number 21-229. Any further discussion? Chairman Ursumal?
I use the floor to Chairman Romulo.
Oh, Chairman Romulo, you have the floor.
I move to defer the action on the said bill to tomorrow's session.
Second.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that CB number 21-229 be deferred to tomorrow's session. Those in favor say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. CP number 21-229 is deferred to tomorrow's calendar. That's it, deferred.
Mr. Speaker, we have the last bill is CB number 21-219 CD3 for second reading. CB number 21-219 CD3 It's a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 20-178, as amended by Public Laws numbers 21-001, 21-07, 21-36, 21-53, 21-56, 21-102, and 21-115 by amending sections 3, 4, and 6 thereof to change the use, allotee, and lapse date of funds previously appropriated therein to fund public projects and social programs for the people of Koshai, Pohnpei, and Chuk states, and for other purposes.
Mr. Speaker,
Mr. Speaker. Yes, Senator Christian?
Mr. Speaker, I'd hate for 229 to be lonely tomorrow. So I move that 219 in its CD3 form be deferred to accompany 229 tomorrow.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that CP number 21-2119 CD3 be deferred to tomorrow's session so it can accompany 21-225 and 21-229. Okay, those in favor of that motion say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. CP number 21-219 CD3 and deferred to tomorrow's bill calendar.
Speaker. Speaker, what's the recess?
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. Next bill, Chief Clerk.
There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay,
So,
Chairman
what-
Thurman.
Next bill?
Mr. Speaker,
Motion to stand and recess till, I'll yield the floor to Senator Conman.
Senator Coleman.
thank you very much, Chairman. Chairman, Mr. Speaker, with all due respect to you and honorable members, I have a very short piece of legislation I wish to withdraw if possible and put it on.
Quiet. Motion.
Thank you
to-
very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I move to withdraw Congressional Bill number 21-230 and put on today's calendar for action. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Any second? Any second?
Good.
It has been moved and seconded that CP number 21-230 be withdrawn from committee and placed on the bill calendar for action. Those in favor of that motion say yes. Opposed, no.
Yes.
Motion carried. CP number 21-230 is placed on the bill calendar for first reading action. Read the title, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, CP number 21-230 is a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 15-32 as amended by Public Laws numbers 15-36, 15-44, 15-57, 15-63, 15-72, 15-78, 16-3, 16-11, 16-33, 16-46, 17-12, 17-21, 17-33, 17-40, 18-17, 18-67, 18-85, 18-104, 19-17, 19-100, 19-157, 20-34, and 20-38 by amending sections 1 and 2 thereof for the purpose of changing the use, allotee, and lapse date of certain funds previously appropriated therein to fund public projects and social programs for the people of Chuk State and for other purposes.
Okay, Chairman Fakir.
Thank you. Thank you, Speaker. I move for the passage of the bill on first reading. Sorry, I'm getting confused.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress pass on first reading CP number 21-230. Discussion? Any discussion? If none, if there's no objection,
Question.
discussion is closed. So let's vote by roll call of members. First reading, Chief Clerk.
Senator Aritos? Senator Aritos. Senator Christian? Senator Figueroa?
Yes.
Senator Coolant?
Yes.
Floor Leader Harper?
Oi.
Senator Conman? Vice Speaker Moses? Senator Ned? Senator Pollack?
Yes.
Senator Perman? Senator Romolo?
Amen.
Senator Ursmal?
I'm still trying to refresh, but I guess yes.
Senator Wally?
Yes.
Speaker Simona?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 13 members voted for.
CP number 21-230 has passed Congress on first reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker,
Yes,
I
Senator.
move that we stand in recess until tomorrow at 10 your time.
Second.
Second.
Again.
It has been moved and seconded that Congress stand in recess until tomorrow at 10, Duke time. In favor of that motion, say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Congress now tomorrow at 10.